This is David with StopHate.com, and I'd like to introduce to you today a special friend of mine, which was introduced through situations that are beyond our control. And it's funny, sometimes how, how when you sit back and the old phrase is let go and let God, but literally when you do that, he will connect you with people that you never thought that you would have an opportunity to meet, spend time with, and share your life with, do things with. And so today I've got a special guest because he was involved in one of the rallies that were in San Francisco back October 17th. And it's the one in which Philip Anderson was attacked by BLM and Antifa. And one of the guys hit him with a tactical glove or brass knuckles or something and knocked his front teeth out. And since then, we've had a real interesting adventure with big tech. We've seen them take down a lot of his information, a lot of his videos, a lot of the viral stuff. People are trying to put the truth out, and then they come back and spin the other version. We've seen his GoFundMe account that was started by a friend of his to repair his teeth go to $37,000, I think, almost, and then GoFundMe took it down at the request of Antifa because Antifa said it was fraud, but we know it's not. And the other part is Antifa's guy still has a GoFundMe that went to jail for hitting him. He still has his social media. He still has his accounts. As far as I know of to this moment, I may be wrong, but I don't think so. And so Philip's been banned from everything. Philip has, taken the brunt of the abuse. And it's really interesting to track this because we've been able to really document some of the things, the way that big tech is actually operating amongst the different platforms and with the different organizations like BLM and Antifa. It's very obvious now. So we have actually worked with Philip for a couple of years, and he's been a big influencer on the demand free speech stage. A huge advocate for free speech for all, not just him and his friends. He's been at many of the rallies as a speaker. He's done a lot of good work, and of course, big tech doesn't want that message to get out. So at this last rally, I was not able to go. I had a conflicting schedule, and I was supposed to, and it got bumped a week, and I didn't get to go, and I'm kind of glad I didn't because of what happened, but I kind of wish I was, because of what happened. And there's two sides to that. So today I'm going to introduce you to Rafael Rodriguez. He was slated to be one of the speakers at the event, and the event didn't actually happen from what I understand. And I'm going to let him get into the ins and outs and how that took place. But we did have an opportunity the other day to interview Ellen, which is the lady that was giving a speech, and she said the prayer at the rally and all that. And her description of the event was horrific. It was really a scary time. And I can't imagine. That's why I'm glad and I'm not glad, that I was there. But at the same time, Rafael, it's great to have you here, man. And it's great to meet you.
Thank you.
We've spoken on the phone a couple of times. We've had, some text back and forth, and I'm really excited to have you, join this team, man. So welcome to the show. If it's a show, all 4 or 5 people that are going to watch it, that's the way it is right now, but it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
It's great.
And then as usual, something happens.
I appreciate having me. Yeah.
Hey, so tell me, man.
Yeah. I mean,
tell me how you got picked. How you got picked for the free speech rally? Why do they pick you?
I mean, I don't know. I believe that since through the censorship that's been going on for everybody that has the platform to be, trying to, bring the truth. I've noticed that the big tech doesn't realize that by them censoring us, so the audience won't be able to reach to us. They're opening up a portal for us to get in contact with us, for all the ones that have actually a platform. Mm-hmm. So with that going on, Phil being censored, he ended up upping into my page. And then that's when he got in contact with me, letting me know, hey, we would like you to speak, King, which I was like more than glad to, because I'm like, man, I have a story to tell. I have a story that, that the media keeps, pretending to, paint it as a lie, saying that, people over here don't support Trump, or don't support the truth, or don't support, anything that they lie to you about. So that way, it's not something that they want to hear. They want to censor that. And with Philip giving me the opportunity, I was more than glad, especially because it's my city.
That's
You know,
right.
I wanted to bring some positivity. I wanted to bring, some unity. We weren't there to tell everybody, hey, go vote for Trump. We weren't there to bring any divide of any kind of conversation like that. We're there to actually bring unity and to actually have a discussion of how a big tech is over here censoring all of us. It doesn't matter what side you stand for. It's the fact that they're censoring everyone that's trying to speak some truth.
That's right.
And I guess they got a word that the fellow was doing this. They find a way how to play the system in a way, say that, hey, the Proud Boys are here. Let's go ahead and fight, white supremacy. Which, again, I'm not a Proud Boy, but I know the Proud Boys are not white supremacy. I can guarantee that for a fact. But the thing is that we weren't even there for that. We weren't even there to show any type of fight, or negative reaction to anybody. We were
Well,
just there to just.
but wait a minute. We've seen the videos. A lot of people have seen the videos, and you and
Right.
I know that they've been spliced. I've seen it. I know.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
Philip made a comment that said, we're going to, kick big tech's butt and all these things. And then he said, not physically,
Mm-hmm.
non-violently, with our words. And we're not going to stop, and we're not going to let up. And we have free speech, and we're going to do what we do. And we're going to beat you
Yeah.
down with our words. And of course, Antifa turns around and says, well, that was violent rhetoric. And they cut off the last part where he says, with our words,
Exactly.
non-violently. And that's
Yeah.
the rub. That's the frustration. People are that frustrated. They want to fight, and it's hard not to fight. But when they make
Mm-hmm.
statements like that and they're taken out of context to paint a picture that the media wants a certain narrative, I get that. So let me ask you this: what's your previous life experience with? Like I said, why did they pick you to be a part of this rally? Who do you know? What have you done? What points on the board? Because that's what people want to hear about.
Well, I believe that there is a time when I think it was like the beginning of the year where I bumped into Kingface.
Hmm.
I guess I was very strange to people where I'm from, because I didn't follow along with the narrative where everybody was talking about how I should be, how I should act. I always like to know why, why things are this way. I didn't grow up on the best, decisions. I grew up in the streets. I was born in Honduras, and then, and I came here back in 1997. Uh, for a dream that my grandma was able to provide for us. Because she worked hard to be here. She worked hard to to get her legal residence, and to get her citizens. She worked hard for that, and she worked hard to get all five of us. And for that being said, I always admire that, and I always admire what I needed to be do. Needed to be done for me to appreciate that privilege. So, with that being said, I didn't grow up in the easiest you know in the easiest mindset that people can say. I grew up very confused, but I always realized all this negativity that was being caused, that it didn't make sense. Like, why
Yeah.
people are telling you to do things, or why people are telling, like, why how things should be,
Mhm.
which that led me to always being on social media, speaking differently than others.
Well,
So I
that's
noticed that now
go ahead.
I noticed that now that's the reason why I always was censored, because I was Honduran. I would never promote anything of those false advertisements they would do when it was hate time. I would always stick to doing, like, no, that's not the way things work. So from there, I let it bumping into people like Kingface, right? And in Kingface, I don't know what it is, but he saw something in me. There was a time that I started talking about when there was the whole virus situation, right? And I try
Mhm.
to explain how it comes from China. It's not racist. It's like saying, like, I'm in Honduras and I come from Honduras and I bring the Honduras virus. And
Sure.
a lot of people got upset about that. And King did post it on his story. He started building up my platform in a way where people could start paying attention to the things that I was bringing onto the stories. because
Right.
at first I wasn't posting. I was just focusing on my stories, and so people can just secretly look at what I was trying to give. And then from there, I just, I started building up the confidence that King Face was giving me. Like, it's okay to stand up for what you believe in. It's okay to be patriotic. It's okay to protect this country. It's okay to love this country. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's right.
It's nothing wrong to want to keep America safe. And then from there, it
So
just built this. It built who I am, conservative king.
yeah,
It
yeah.
just
Well, that's the journey. That's everybody's on their own journey, different times, different points, different places, and not up to us to judge where people are. It's just to help them along the way if they need help or want help or ask for help, and that's all we're trying to do. But so
yeah.
tell me who King Face is, man. You're saying King Face a whole lot, but a lot of my people aren't going to know who King Face is. Yeah,
Oh man,
here's the
you
big
gave me
thing,
a
right?
thumb, man. When you say King Face.
Mm-hmm.
King Face is it's someone that, man, like, if you really talk about mentors and you want to talk about motivators,
Mm-hmm.
he's one of them. He he can make you feel like you really are confused. You can start from feeling confused and lost, and as soon as you come across his content, you're like, wow, I'm not alone.
That's awesome.
I'm strong. I can do this. It's not based of what anybody thinks. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. It doesn't matter if I feel like a loser.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be a loser. I'm going to keep on going, because a loser is somebody who does not keep going.
So
And that's
what?
what he always been.
So what community is King Face from? What's his
He's from New
history?
York.
New
Oh
York.
man, he's yeah, Queens, yeah.
So is he
Yeah,
a
he's
musician?
he's he was a he was a blood. He was a blood from the hood. He was a rapper too. He did a little bit of music. He also did
Mm-hmm.
videos with a lot of artists. He knew a lot of people in the industry, and that was a big no for a lot of people,
That's
because
right.
him bring all this kind of knowledge to people in the music industry wasn't good, because they want to keep that away from them. They want to keep that away because there's a people that in the real world they like to watch. They like to look up onto.
Yeah.
So people like
Yeah.
Kingface was very inspirational, that he would bring like a lot of truth to anybody. It didn't matter who it was. Even if it was in the rap industry, he just brought a lot of attention to it.
So he wasn't.
So he was known for making a lot of connections.
Yeah. So he wasn't a rich and famous guy. He wasn't like a huge personality. He was just a real guy that made real connections and
Yep.
had a real influence over people because of his attitude
Mm-hmm.
and the choices
Yep.
that he made and encouraged others to make.
Exactly.
That's what
Oh
people
yeah.
need to see.
Yeah.
So tell me this,
Yeah. And I
brother.
mean, you gotta understand. Yeah.
Go tell me. Go ahead.
I mean, I understand that, like King said once, that everything all that educating and stuff is great. It's wonderful, but a lot of people in the youth, they don't really want to hear you. They'll focus on what's cool, and that's what Kingface
Mhm.
brought into the picture. That's the reason why I started paying attention, because I felt like I can relate, because I'm from the streets.
Mm.
I won't really pay attention to somebody just talking to me calmly, but when you hear somebody like Kingfish, you're like, wait, what? He's like, he talks just like he kind of talks like the way I do.
That's
I
awesome.
can relate to this.
Hmm.
He comes from the same place I came from nothing, from no father, no none of that.
That's right.
Father absent.
Mm.
So I can really relate to this guy. And from there, it just, this is what the community needs. Like somebody that can be relatable to in a sense, like, hey, look, I don't have a father, but he doesn't have a father, and he can do something with his life. And that's what Kingface did.
That's right.
So
Well, it's time to be real, and he shows what real looks like, and that's the thing with
oh yeah.
guys like you and me. We work for a living. We're out there doing what we can do to supply for our families and do what we do, and then all the activism for our communities and such is just what we do, and then we're just
Yeah.
trying to encourage more people to make those choices to be involved. I mean, if you could spend an hour and a half watching a movie, or you could spend 30 or 45 minutes feeding people, trust me, you're going to feel better about feeding people than watching a silly movie. That's it. I mean,
Amen.
it's
Yeah.
simple stuff. So, what happened to your friend? So people know, because I know.
Yeah, King passed away. Um, he had a kidney failure, and just blew into his cyst. He was in a coma, I believe. Checked in July 1st, because that's after that I started seeing like, man, what's going on? Where's King? And I mean, we just ended up finding out like at least like what, like a month after or half a month, and we were just praying that he was gonna get through. We're like, oh man, this is nothing. He's gonna be okay.
Right.
And just from there we get, I'm at work, and I see one of the guys with the platform just, hey, I got the word, King, and I just couldn't believe it. I was just going, without belief, and you know it's
So
crazy because he's gone, and now there's more people finding out about him too. That's the thing about
yes,
it. He's not this. It's funny because before he went sick and all that, I remember he said, all right, y'all want me to shut up? Y'all want me to shut up? And it's like, you know what? You're not gonna really be talking now, but people hear you more now.
yeah,
People hear exactly the message that you're trying to give. And you're trying to give unity. You're trying to bring
yeah.
everyone together. It doesn't matter the skin of the color, just everyone.
What an
So,
amazing message.
man, it's just,
And that's the message that will outlive every one of us if we choose that. Now we can choose
yeah,
to be mean and not love each other and to be selfish and self-centered and egotistical and self-serving is not good. Guys like Kingface that set an example in such a big way in life.
yeah,
It's almost as if the Martin Luther King Jr. does more in death through leaving that message. And it's really sad because we depend on those people for our strength. Those are the role models. And man, it's rough. That is rough. So, man, I feel sorry for you, brother. Makes me want to cry. It's one of those things. Big old wimpy guy. I want to cry about a leader, but that's where we are,
brother.
man.
The toughest ones are the ones that have a hard time crying. So don't even. I get it. But what the thing is that they don't understand that after the king is gone, like, King created an army. He created an army of a lot of truth talkers, and that will build that confidence.
That's
Because
right.
myself, I do this for God, and I do this for my family, for this country, but I will
Amen.
not let King face down.
Well, and
I
here's
have
the
a
thing.
purpose.
I mean, that's reason enough. Leave a legacy of love. Wow, I think that's a T-shirt right there, brother. What do you think?
Amen.
Put that on
I
the
love that
list.
one, actually. Yeah, there you go.
That's good stuff. So tell me about
Yeah.
the event, man. I really want to know what happened in San Francisco. I know that you didn't actually uh, get to be a part of the biggest action, but what you saw was very important and how that all worked together. And I kind of want to get your just start us off in the beginning of the day. You were getting ready to go. I know I talked to you about this the other day, but kind of want to hear it again. Straighten me out.
That's fine. So, I start my day, and then meet up with my friend. I meet up with my friend. I'm like, let's go, man. Let's take off. We got to get to the city. We arrived to the city like over the bridge, like the Bay Bridge, like around 10:40. So I have my buddy, hey, you know what? Hit up Phil. Let him know that we're here. We're gonna get there. And he's like, yeah, no problem. We're just setting up things, setting up some stuff. Take your time. Don't worry. But I'm like, oh, dude, he said to be there at 1.
Yeah,
So let's be there at 12, right? He's like, yeah, all right, that's cool. So I'm like, let's go do our thing for a bit. Let's go to the hood. So I go to the hood. I go to Sunnydale, Geneva, right by Mission, San Francisco, and I'm just taking a drive, just seeing what the Democrats has done to my city. Just driving around, seeing what Pelosi has done to my city. So
that's right.
I'm just, taking things in before I go ahead and deliver a speech, right? So myself,
Right.
I'm over here like thinking like, man, it's gonna be my first speech. I'm kind of nervous. Let me just go ahead and bring some motivation where I come from, so I can, feel more revived.
Yeah,
So
man, that
all right,
works.
so we heading
That's
over.
awesome.
So we heading over, and then we get there, my buddy, and then my wife. As soon as I'm parking, my wife calls me. It's like, hey, where are you? I'm like, what do you mean? And it's like, Phil just got his teeth knocked out. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, he just posted something. And I'm like, oh, dude, like, I tell my buddy, like, we got to get on our toes because something's gonna happen. It's San
Wow.
Francisco. I was in denial. I've been away for so long that I didn't, I didn't put no consideration to it. I was just thinking more like, what a grown up would do instead
Oh
of,
yeah.
what the
Mm,
wrong thing would be. So, as soon as we're going back to the car, I just see like a set of Antifas just in one section, right? And they see us because we're Hispanic. We don't, my buddy, he's dark and we don't really fit the description that they're looking for, I guess.
mm-hmm,
And but our shirts have American flags on them. So they're a little bit confused,
mm-hmm.
but they're like, well, these guys look like they can take us on. So they end up calling more Antifas. So by the time we're making it to our car, you have like two different sets of Antifa, one on each side, like four and two, and they just come in this direction. And I'm like, dude, whatever happens, we just gotta do what we gotta do.
Yeah.
So as soon as we make it to the car, they're passing by the car, but they just stare at us kind of confused because they don't understand what to do because we don't fit the description.
Wow.
And me, I try to look at them very intimidating, so they just intimidately leave. They're confused. We're like, hey, they're like talking to each other, like, should we attack them, right? So as they leave,
Wow.
we're trying to make it to the other side so we can like sneak in where Phil is, because we still trying to get in. I don't care what's going on with the Antifa's attacking. I'm still trying to get in where Phil is. I have a mindset that doesn't matter. I'm still gonna go help on my brother, but I couldn't get in. There was no way to get in. Why? Because one, I have a mindset now that I follow the law, and if a police officer does not allow me to get in, I will not get in. So that's what stopped me from getting in. It wasn't nobody
Sure.
that came BLM or somebody came in. I'm not disrespecting the people that actually stand for Black lives, right? But it wasn't
Right.
the fact that
Right.
BLM came and attacked me or somebody came and attacked me, because I was intimidated. It was that I just followed the law. So
Mm-hmm.
at this time, when I finally made it to the line where they had, the first police line where the street was, at that time, they had me like, you got to go. A Trump supporter just got hurt. The ambulance is coming. You need to get out of the way. I'm like, okay, no problem. That's fine. So I try to move. Like 15 minutes later, my wife tells me, she's like, hey, Phil, Black Rebel is on YouTube. He's live. That way, what was going on with Phil. So at this time, when we leave, they were trying to escort Phil to the van. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like so many things going on. So as we're trying to find out how can we get to Phil, because they're actually, obviously in the video you can see they're stuck in my garage, I believe.
Right. Right.
We're over here
It's a
trying to get
mess.
around, and then we see like in a black truck. It's like a Toyota Lee or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Following us. And I tell my buddy, I'm like, hey, dude, we're being followed. He's all like, no, we're not. He's like, you're thinking too much. I'm like, no,
Oh,
bro, this
wow.
car does not have tinted windows. This car has no tinted windows, and they're obvious. And these guys are literally looking at us. And as soon as we're looking back, they're all here pretending like we're not looking at them.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, right, oh yeah, you see that. But the thing about it is like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But the thing about it is like, I would have believed that if you weren't dressed up all black
Yeah.
with the shades, the hat, like you're about to go rob a bank. So I'm like, dude, you guys are obvious, right? I don't
Yeah.
play that.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did is I just put to the side so that way they can, go their direction.
Yeah.
As soon as they pull over, one of the Antifa guys gets off and they're on the street, supposedly patrolling. And I didn't even realize that these people were patrolling traffic,
Wow.
you
Yeah.
know? So that's the reason why traffic was so ridiculous. I was like, wait, I'm
So
from
wait a
the
minute.
city. I know it makes sense. Like it's one-way street, but why is it going like all the way to Embarcadero?
So you're telling me Antifa and BLM were directing traffic?
Yes, you heard that
Wait a
clear.
minute. Wait a minute. So you know that when there was a Denver shooting, there was a cameraman that kept saying keywords to the different actors, we'll call them. when the police would come closer, when he was telling them to hurry up. So we know they have spotters and markers and callers and whatever you want to call their little job titles, right? So you're
Mhm.
telling me that they're out there directing traffic. That just kind of adds to the whole story that we're telling people. Why didn't the police stop these characters from directing traffic? I mean, isn't that illegal to? Anyway, that's a different story because I like the San Francisco police and I imagine they didn't see what was going on or they would
Yeah,
have fixed it.
yeah.
But what we're seeing is a pattern here. And we've got access to some video from the Denver shooting that's in an angle that not a lot of people have seen. I think that's what it was. But the Portland, was it Portland or Seattle? The other guy got shot.
I think it was
Do you
Portland.
remember? Portland. Yeah, that's what I thought. So
I think
the
it was Portland.
Denver shows the same activity of Antifa. It shows the group that run. I mean, it's eerie if you lay these two, the Portland and Denver on top of each other from the other angle. It's
Hmm.
scary, scarily the same. So what we're trying to show people is that this idea that Biden calls Antifa is extremely organized. They're trained. They work
Yeah.
with each other as far as different organizations, BLM, Antifa. Um, the connection between them and politicians, the FBI, these are all coming soon. You know, we've probably gotten more information than we should. And we're
Yeah.
working on trying to bring that more to the public so that they can understand that this is intentional and part of a long plan. It's decades of what they're trying to do. It's a control and manipulation. Literally, it's the saddest thing. And
I see it
but
though.
hey, man, what I'm excited about is having you in here, dude. The energy, the different outlook, you know. And here's a funny thing. I've got a friend in the UK. His name is Mark Sutherland. And that's what I
Okay.
really like the most about him is his perspective from the UK. So the way he views
Mm.
the Constitution and the importance of what that means, not only to America, but to the world when you see these powers trying to take down our Constitution or take down America, it's so they can take down the world. We're the only thing stopping them. And he sees that more than the people that live here. The people that live here say, what do you mean America's going to die? I'm still going to live here. What are you talking about? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. They have no idea. They've never been to another country. And your family is from Honduras, right? That's a
Yep.
totally
Exactly.
different perspective. So as we
Yeah.
go deeper into our relationship and talk more and learn more about each other, I want to do this with you often and come tell some of these stories, man. I know that your mom was super active and back in Honduras. So that's really interesting perspective wise for people to understand. If we've never even visited another state or sometimes another city, you know, some people never get out of New
Yeah.
York, they never escape. So I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
if you don't see the world, you don't know, and you don't know what you need to appreciate. And here we are trying to turn
Exactly.
America into a socialist, and they have no clue what they're doing. It's education, it's ignorance. The dumbing down of
It's just
America has been successful, as we say. And I mean, I'm not a very smart guy, but I'm smart enough to see that those that love the country stand together. Those that are trying to
exactly.
destroy the country need to go stand somewhere else. It's pretty simple. Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
I've been feeling like that a lot more and more.
well, you know, and that's the thing. And here we are so close to the election. It's really bothering me because I can't. And I see this report where people want to change their votes. They're learning this stuff about Biden and all that. But that's why they're anxious to get them out so fast. They didn't want people to be able to, think very long. Just vote, think later. Doesn't that sound like something Pelosi
Yeah,
would say? Vote now, think later.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I realized how they have everything on pause. I mean, everything that should be talked about, everything that matters, everything that protects our children,
Hmm.
everything that justifies the wrong things that was done under other administrations, anything like that is not being talked about. And if it is, it's being paused. So it's like, yeah, let's wait after election. It's like, come on, we got time.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
and that's the
but
thing, man.
they don't want. They don't want.
I'm all about putting points on the board and spreading the truth, and through love. I'm not about beating people up because they don't respond very well when you beat on them first and then try to push truth in their face. It just doesn't really. It's
Yeah.
not very productive. So that's what's different, man. Is the leadership. Like you're talking about King Face, man. He lived it. He walked it. He shared it. He encouraged it. That's what he saw in you. That's why you're here. I
Yep.
see that in you. You're a leader. You're an encourager. You're a motivator. And, that's something that we need more of. We need power team of people just spreading a good message, spread the love, man. And you get it. I know
Yeah.
through our conversations we've had, it's just been amazing to get to know you so far. It's really good.
Yeah, man. It's a blessing for me.
Uh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me, you went to a rally the other day and you had a little bad experience. So let's just go over that real quick. Get it out of the way. Tell
Mm.
people that when they want to help do things, sometimes it puts you on a list. Sometimes the devil gets
Ah,
your number. And sometimes the devil
always.
says, I'm going to try to slow you down and take the wind out of your sail and make you change your mind or at least doubt yourself.
Yep.
Tell me what happened to you last weekend.
Man, so I make it to this rally where uh this gal was giving a speech. She's on a platform. She speaks a lot of truth, and I was like, man, I'm so excited to be there. This is the first rally that I'm going to be there with my bringing my family because it's going to be positive. Everything's organized nicely, and I show up, everything's beautiful. She gives her speech, everything's great. Everybody's like lined up. I even give a little tiny speech on top of the back of my the hood of the trunk of my car. Letting
Nice.
know like that to be proud of being in this country and all that.
Yeah.
And everybody was just yelling happy. And after that, we get in the car. My wife was like, "We gotta get going. The line is big. Everybody's happy to go." And as I'm going, we're so in a moment that's so exciting that I don't realize that there's a car stopping so quickly, and I hate the side of the car, right?
Yeah.
Uh, Happily it was a Trump supporter. She comes out and she said, "Honey, you weren't watching." I'm like, "Ma'am, I'm so sorry. I don't
I'm so
know what I
sorry.
was thinking." And she's like, and she's like, "Don't worry about it. It's okay. You're okay. Everybody's okay." He's like, "Yeah, okay. Let's park to the side. Let's take care of this." And then she's like, "Are you still coming?" I'm like, "I don't know. I don't know what to think of this." And my wife is like, my wife, she's not even like this big. Now she's this big Trump supporter, but she's not this big known Trump supporter. She's like, well, let's just go. And I'm like, man, let's just, you know what? This is the enemy telling me, don't go do God's work. Don't
Yes.
go meet his wonderful people. Don't
Yes.
don't don't speak the truth that needs to be spoken in every tongue. So I went with it. At first, I was like, man, all bummed out, but I was like, man, let's just enjoy it. The car runs, everything's fine. That just needs to get fixed. Let's just get with
Yeah.
it. I got
Well,
with it. I got in contact with you. I'm like, man, I don't know what to do, but
and,
your guidance at that time helped me so much too. And I was like, man, okay, yeah, okay, I'm gonna do
yeah.
this. Let's get going.
Well, and that's the thing, man. I wish that I had a real big, audience or a bunch of subscribers or whatever, people that follow me or whatever. And I'd be like, hey, is there like a body shop close to my boy up there can help him out, Because that would be so cool.
Yeah,
Or if everybody just give $2, something like that. It'd be so fun just to be able to help you out, man. I hate that it happened to you or whatever. I'm
it's
glad,
all
like you
right.
said, it was a Trump supporter, and we'll get you fixed up, man. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
I'm sure everything will be all right. But that's the way it works. I don't want people to realize that that's really the way it works. The flip side of it is the way that I want to kind of convey to you is the flip side of how bad it is how good it is, man, because
Yeah.
one person, one lady, one family, it's just about relationships, getting to know each other, loving each other.
Yeah.
And, sometimes the
Yep.
funniest ways to meet are, wow, I bumped into you, I'm sorry. And then you make
Yeah.
friends and
Yep.
you go on and repair the damage. But, that's a
Yeah.
great story. I mean, getting you started,
And down
in your adventure. That's fun.
down the rally, man, I forgot to mention, down as we were like driving through the train, there was a guy, waving his flag, and he's like, "I can fix that, very cheap. Call me later." And I was like, "All right, yeah,
Did
let
you
me
get his
get your
number?
number here." Yeah, I got his number. So
Well, see, that's how it works,
there
man.
you go. So I was like,
Wow.
all right, everything
Wow.
worked out. My wife
He's
had a
probably
great
got one of
time.
those
She's like,
dent puller things, suction cup, and pop them out. That's really neat.
yeah,
That's neat.
yeah, yeah,
Well, I look forward to, I know you've been super helpful, in the movement in your community. I'd like to give you a little more opportunity to, nationalize your brand, your message, because, man, you've got a wife and two young kids. You get it, man. And there's something that is about people like you and me that are fighting for the future of our children that is
yeah,
motivating to people. And that's really where we need to focus our energy and help people understand what has happened, where they're trying to make it go, what we need to do to stop it, turn it around, make it go the right direction. Because that's kind of where we are. Because we love our kids. That's right.
exactly. You know, basically, my main goal why I came in this fight was because I want this country to be safe enough where my kids can walk around safely and do what they want to do, as long as it's something right.
That's right.
As long as there's discipline in what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
You
As long
know,
as you're not hurting
I'm not.
somebody,
I'm not saying.
that's right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, and
and
and that's the thing.
go ahead.
Like, with politicians bringing in laws that we're not, aware of,
Mm-hmm.
or things that, information that we don't really look into. We're just going down the dialogue like autopilot. We're not really educating ourselves. Why is there a reason to hate each other? Why is there a reason for me to not like that person? I don't even know that person for me to even dislike that person.
Yeah, it's really sad,
That's the
man.
kind of
And
message it
I've
is.
studied this for almost 30 years, and it is the same. And it is frustrating because it is intentional, it is evil. Um, you have to feel sorry for people because they really do. I mean, they really fall into this thing hook, line, and sinker, whatever. They take the bait, swallow the bait. And it's
Yeah,
hard to back them out of that, man. That whole compassion and love. And it is hard to exercise on somebody that is screaming and spitting in your face and threatening to break you to pieces or whatever it is they do. And,
yeah,
that's why we have to continue to show God's love. And that old saying
yeah,
says, God loves you and I'm trying. And I keep trying, got to do that.
yeah.
That's But no, man, Raphael, I am so excited,
Man,
dude. And listen, I know that this first little bump in the road with the car wreck and stuff, it's just a little test. You passed with flying colors.
yeah,
Let you know.
yeah.
Big boss told me you passed. And but
Nice.
I'm really, really excited to see you and your family grow. Um,
Yeah,
Having this kind of voice is going to be nothing but positive for you. I believe that it will open doors for you to meet so many new people and experience their stories and share your stories with them and just help bridge this divide in communication that we have because, man, you sure don't fit the mold of what people would think ambassador for Stop Hate would look like, You see what I'm saying?
nah,
That's what it's all
nah,
about, man. That's what it's all about because all these preconceived things, man. That's what bothers me. Everybody thinks just because the shirt you wear or where you live, that's not fair. None of that. And the whole
Yeah,
stop hate's an acronym. It's start turning off prejudice, heal attitudes
exactly.
through education. It's pretty
Exactly.
simple stuff. We make it
Hmm.
really difficult, but I'm glad you're here to, simplify it for a lot of people and just say, hey, it's a choice. Choose wisely because you have to live with your decisions. There are consequences, but if you choose wisely, you can be happy and live a long life and, have family and good times, not be so miserable and hate so much that you get cancer.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I mean, really.
That's
Uh,
Dude, I mean,
sucks.
yeah, I understand. Knowledge is power, and if you can't just like understand what the knowledge is, you'll just be hating for the rest of your life.
That's right.
People don't understand that. It's crazy. We live in an era with the word woke is thrown around so much, and it's
Yeah.
like they don't really understand what woke is. Woke is knowing when to accept that you're wrong, and maybe there's some
Mm.
kind of information that you really didn't come across on, and maybe you should really look into it. And hey, man, like stop hate is pretty much telling you like there's no reason if you don't want hate going on, then stop it.
Yeah.
Why you continue to hate something if you then stop the hate then?
It's
And then
amazing.
it doesn't get more simpler than that. Like we represent everything that you are complaining and yelling across the stage to stop. That's what we
Hmm.
represent. So why would you
That's
want to
right.
hate us?
That's
It's
right.
that simple.
Well, until we get back to that point, dude, we have way more in common than we ever have different. We all have families and jobs and stress and
Exactly.
a car and a wife and kids and whatever it is, whatever your version of all that is, we all experience it. And
We all
that's what
pump
makes it
blood.
ours. Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
excited. I'm really happy to have you along, Rafael. You've already helped me a whole lot. You've motivated me. It's always good to have that breath of fresh air, that young blood. And
Yeah.
I'm an old guy, man. It's hard for me to keep going sometimes. I'm glad you little guys are here to
Oh
carry
man.
and all that stuff. So that'll be great. Hold my arms up. Whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait,
That's
wait here,
good.
Dave. Wait here, Dave.
Huh? Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's
That's
good,
it.
man. No,
I
it's
love it.
I'll help you out, man. I'll help you out. Wait over here, Dave. Over here.
Yeah, over here.
But
Come
yeah,
on.
man.
It's good stuff, man. Yeah, just leave me around, and once I go blind, y'all had to like guard me from Antifa because I'm,
There you go.
can't see anything. It's terrible. It's terrible. Terrible. I'm here to make friends,
Yeah.
influence people in a
Yeah.
positive way. I'm excited to have you on the team. Help keep me
Yes,
grounded,
sir.
please, because I get mad like everybody else. It's
Yeah.
a daily walk, not to hate some of these people. It really is. It really is. I want people to know
It
that
is. It
we're
is.
just as human. We're just as human as anybody else. We have the same thing. We just have our focus in different
Yeah.
places. I make a conscious effort to wear a little bracelet that reminds me not to be a jerk. It's kind of easy. I'm trying to get more people to wear those, by the way, because I think that's pretty necessary. And I look
Yeah.
forward to this, man, for so many reasons. Getting past this election, this is so important that we win. Of course, there's no future for us, I don't believe, if we don't. But the next 4 years are going to be, I think, more challenging than the time that we're in right now. So I'm appreciative to you and your wife for allowing you and supporting you to be a part of this team. And appreciate you, man. You're an
Thank you.
official Stop Hate ambassador. And I like that for you, man.
Thank you. I
Good
appreciate you
fit.
guys so much. Yeah.
Hey,
Thank you.
it's great. It's
Hey,
great.
man.
Well,
I'm
Raphael,
loving it.
listen.
Loving it. Trust me.
Yeah, no, hey, man. That's what it's all about. It's what it's all about. So, listen, God bless you and the family, brother. I'm going to sneak out of here. My wife is hollering at me.
Thank
You
you.
know how that goes. The real world beckons.
I,
So,
I hear you. I hear you.
it's all good, man. Listen,
I can hear
you
you.
need anything, you got my number. We'll be talking all the time. Like I said, this is just a laid back conversation thing. We'll do these once in a while.
I can't wait for us to get this rolling. I appreciate you guys having me on. God bless you. You know, I know it's God's purpose why we came across, and thank you, man. You know, it's a rare honor for me, and you know, it's a rare honor because I know that I will continue a legacy, and it's something that I want to make my kids proud about,
Man, that's great.
especially when I have to do with protecting this country.
That's what it's all about, my brother. And you get it. I appreciate that
Yep.
so much.
Yep.
It's glad to have you.
So,
Welcome to the family. As dysfunctional
thank
as it
you.
is, that's why we call it family. All right, brother. God bless you. And we'll talk to you real soon. All right.
That's well, brother. God bless you
All
too.
right, buddy, man.